Find us on Facebook and Instagram at The Rock Fitness.
Real Country 550 and 92.9 WAME Statesville. Real Country.
Hey, good morning. It's 10 o'clock here in beautiful downtown Statesville. We're at 76 degrees. Probably see about 89 today, so it's going to be just a bit same as usual all through the summer.
That's right.
Thunderstorm.
Hot, hazy,
possibly.
humid.
Yeah.
And if it's 10 o'clock on a Thursday, it's time for Downtown on Tap. And today with Liz Petree. Good morning, Liz.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing fine. And, of course, Maren, I just found out, is on vacation.
She deserves a vacation.
Is that what it is?
She works all the time.
She does work all the time, but you do now.
Well, I like it.
You have actually been not that I'm surprised, a great addition to the Downtown Statesville Development Corporation.
Well, thank you.
Because you've been downtown Statesville you've been a big supporter of downtown Statesville
I love
forever.
downtown Statesville.
Yeah. And Wine Maestro was big going, big strong retail establishment here in beautiful downtown Statesville.
Yes.
Just right next door to this fly fishing place.
I had the best neighbor.
Didn't you, though?
Yes,
Had the best neighbor,
yes.
but that's okay.
Well, I would have said the same thing. I had the best neighbor.
He put up with a lot of noise and complaining from me, I guess.
It just sounded like fun to me.
That's right. So, I mean, you got wine in one place, drinking and all that good stuff. That didn't sound exactly right. Wine tasting and craft beer
Not
tasting.
whining.
Not whining. And the next door is quiet fly fishing.
There was drinking over there, too.
Oh.
No, that's not true. Fly fishing is a very sober activity.
Yes, it is.
Drinking and fishing go hand in hand, Richard.
Of course, that's Carolina Mountain Sports and Richard Griggs, or as we say, Richard the Elder.
That's right. Richard the Elder, not to be confused with that young guy that works at Recreation and Parks.
That's right. Oh, you wouldn't want to be associated with him. He's too natural.
We would never call him Little Richard.
No.
He runs around with kayaks on his car. Anywhere you see a kayak running down the road, there's Richard underneath it.
So I always wondered how he come up with Frankie. Do you know the answer to that?
I do know the answer to that, but I'm not going to divulge it on the radio.
All right.
Well, the better one is Little Toe. I think we found out Little Toe because his dad was Big Toe.
That's right.
Or something like that.
Yep.
So,
But,
anyway.
but we're digressing.
Yes, we are. Let's
talk
move on.
about
Downtown
Griggs
Statesville.
here.
Happens.
Well, first of all, let's see what's going on in downtown Statesville.
Well, we have a lot going on right now. I've been very busy since I've come on board with Downtown Statesville Development Corporation. We've got Haunted Statesville tours are starting up this weekend.
And, tell us about that, because in the past, Haunted Statesville came up around Halloween.
Right. And we will still do that in October. But because they're so popular, we decided that we're going to do them year round. We're going to do them the fourth Saturday of the month year round, probably not December. But so they start up this weekend, and they're going to be led by the Sharp House Historic Players. So Keith Run has a group of people down there that he has been training.
Yes.
And you know Keith, he's going to do it right.
Did you ever see
So
those guys down there that play the footmen?
Yes.
They're just, they snap to it.
Yeah, you ring that bell at the door. I like doing that. And then they come running, and then Keith gets mad at me. And he takes my harmonica. Anyway, another story.
That's
Wow.
traumatic.
Story. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for that.
That's right.
So anyway, we're going to do 2 tours on Saturday. We have an 8 o'clock tour and an 8:30 tour. You can get tickets for that on our Downtown Statesville website.
Very nice.
And we do have a few spots available, but the 8 o'clock tour is almost sold out.
Wow.
And
is that this weekend?
This Saturday night.
Wow. Okay, starts now.
Did you say it's every month?
We're going to do it the 4th Saturday of every month.
Every
yes.
month. Okay, cool.
And we'll have extra ones in October, of course.
All right.
Sure.
So I can go out there and have fun with that, too.
Yeah,
With
sure.
the footmen. All right. I'll be there Saturday night.
With
you
the footmen.
can't.
Have fun with the
Wait,
footmen.
that doesn't sound right.
Video will follow. Oh, not. Yes.
So anyway.
So that's coming up. We also are gearing up for Art Crawl in September.
Yes.
That's going to be September 24th. So if you are an artist and you want to have your art on display, you want to go to our website and sign up to be an artist. If you're a business and you want to have an artist in your business in downtown, you want to give me a call for that as well.
You know, when that first started years ago, I was like, well, we have some art studios downtown, but not enough for all this. But then I realized, any business
can
have the artists come in.
Yep.
And it's not just painting. It's
everything, sculpture, jewelry. We have all kinds of people.
All that stuff, yeah. And so we were going to do this before COVID, and Christy Darling had called and asked if she could be in here in our place, and we could do that.
Yeah.
And have folks here.
I had somebody in Wine Maestro one year that came in and did braiding, like braided people's hair.
Really?
Yeah, we'd had people do caricatures one year.
Oh, that's cool.
I think Kelly had somebody do ice sculptures outside of 220 one year.
Oh, right.
Wow.
Yeah, we've had all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah. In the summertime.
Ever had anybody at Carolina Mountain Sports?
Yeah, we've had as many as 3 and 4 artists during Art Crawl.
Really?
Yeah, 4 gets a little crowded. 2 and 3 is very manageable, but yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And you've had knitting and lots of different things.
Lorraine Watts is very fond of making knit hats, and she does really good selling those. And a lot of people are excited about buying a hat that's been made in Statesville.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, we've had all kinds of artists in the store.
Do you show them how to tie a fly?
Well, sometimes we do, but usually we try to sort of keep that secretive because that's a special talent.
Yes, it is.
You could have someone that makes fishing lures. I used to make my own. So I'm not volunteering or anything. I'm going to be here playing a special playlist during an art crawl.
Really?
Yes.
I hadn't heard that. Anyway, so art crawl coming up. So if you're an artiste of some sort, you can call or go online?
Yes. So, our website, downtown Statesville, nc.org.
Yep. And it's a great website, too. It's very beautiful.
It is.
Gee, I don't know who set that up. Maybe a Cindy Sutton person. I don't, could be. So that's great. What else is going on downtown?
Well, we're also gearing up for Pumpkin Fest, and that's going to be huge because we also didn't get to have that last year. Thank you, COVID. So we've got vendors sending in their applications for that.
Beautiful.
So again, if you're a vendor and you want to come set up your booth for Pumpkin Fest, we have a separate website for that. That is statesvillepumpkinfest.com. And you can go online and fill out your application and send in your vendor fee. And I get that too.
Hey, how about that?
Yeah.
You're just
fun.
a woman of many talents.
I know. It keeps me busy.
Pumpkin Fest is always a lot of fun. And we just had this past Friday, probably one of the biggest Friday after fives we've had in a long time.
Very long time. It wasn't our biggest ever, but it was up there.
Yeah. That's most people that I remember seeing ever at one.
Gee, that Cindy Sutton lady says it's .com, not .org.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
She's always correcting me.
She's
Thank you,
that
Cindy.
way. She's that way.
I didn't write it down.
She's omnipresent or something like that. Anyway, so we got one coming up, too, with Daryl Harwood. That'll be huge as well. But I guess it's because people, we're now back out.
People are very excited to be out and about.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So this is good stuff. So can't wait for Pumpkin Fest to come up.
Yep. And then I do have one more thing that I want to mention. You were talking the other day with John Childress, and Banner Drug has opened their location downtown.
Right.
And we're going to do a big celebration with them on July 29th at 11:30 a.m. We're going to have a rolling out of the red carpet and a ribbon cutting ceremony with the Chamber of Commerce.
Excellent.
They've got a food truck coming with the Waffle Chick.
Yeah.
She's the best.
She is.
So that's going to be on July 29th at 11:30. We want everybody to come out and see the new Banner Drug Pharmacy. It's a beautiful building.
Oh, yeah.
Have some lunch.
Free prescriptions for everyone. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah, I still got to pay for those.
Yeah, well.
But get some lunch, walk around, meet everybody.
That's right, and see the pretty building. And it is very, very nice.
So that's next Thursday.
Okay, next Thursday.
July's almost over.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
It has gone so quick.
Blink of an eye.
Excellent. Well, all those good things going on in beautiful downtown Statesville, take advantage of it.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. So you brought this Griggs fella in. Why?
So, well, he's one of my favorite people in the world.
Oh, here we go.
That's one thing. And Marin's like, you're not going to get him to come talk on the radio. I said, you watch me.
We have a past together.
But so Carolina Mountain Sports, tell me how long you've been open, Richard.
I've only been open in downtown Statesville for the last 23 years.
That's all?
That's all, yeah.
That's how old I am.
Geez, I tell that by looking at you.
Yes.
Yeah, we opened in '98 right here on the corner across from where we are this morning.
That's right.
We spent 5 years there and then moved down the street across from Sub Express and have been there for the last 20 years almost. So
Has it been that long?
Yes, it's hard to believe, but it's everybody said, what are you doing? You're crazy to open a store like this in downtown Statesville.
Right.
And we've managed to survive for 23 years, so it's
How
been
about
good.
that? It has been good. And it's always good when you're actually, I don't like to brag on him, but you're pretty much an expert when it comes to fly fishing.
Well, that's an interesting point. I wouldn't disagree with you, but
Okay.
I'm still learning stuff every day. I started fly fishing when I was about 13 or 14, and my career in fly fishing got interrupted by time in the Coast Guard and working for the Boy Scouts and all that sort of stuff. But once I got back into it in '98, I found out I needed to learn a lot more, and I started attending clinics and shows and presentations, and I'm still doing that. And I'm still learning stuff new every day as far as fly fishing is concerned.
How about that? You wouldn't think that. You just think it's once you learn it, you got it.
Maybe it just seems like it's new because I can't retain this information. That could be.
You're relearning the same thing over and over.
Something about senior years or something like that.
You just told me your mind was a steel trap.
Yeah, but I said it was a little rusty around the edges.
Needs a little WD-40.
But it's been good, and a lot of people have taken up fly fishing. It's easier and less expensive than most people realize. And, of course, in addition to fly fishing, we sell some other outdoor gear like hiking and backpacking stuff. And, of course, Boy Scout uniforms.
Yeah.
The only place in Iredell County where you can get Scout uniforms.
Yeah, that was the story goes back quite a number of years when my son was at Scott's elementary school. And this guy named Richard Griggs came up and to talk all about scouting and how your son would just love that. And how if you'd like to be an adult leader, it's only an hour a week. That's all there is to it. Sold me on it. Gee. And that hour just kind of stretched into, well, days. But it was good.
It was good, and that particular pack that your son joined was one of the outstanding units in the county, I think largely due to the adult leadership that it had.
Oh, yes, yes.
Some guy named Billy. I can't remember the last name.
Well, there was another Saunders fellow in there and another one or two. But anyway, those were very interesting. And actually, I guess you what's the big phrase? You live vicariously through your son. Of all those days when I was a scout and burned down Allison Woods. But that's another story we won't get into. It was just a small fire, but we lived through it.
My youngest is out backpacking right now. He's in
Really?
Philmont right now.
Is he an Eagle?
Deacon did not. He's alive. He did not make it to Eagle, but Brody is an Eagle Scout.
That's what I thought, Brody.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Were you ever an Eagle Scout?
I was not. I was in scouting for a while, and then our troop sort of dissolved. But Richard Jr., young Richard, was an Eagle Scout, is an Eagle Scout, and as a matter of fact, he's at scout camp right now with his son.
Is that right?
Grayson's there, yeah.
So I looked at a picture. We looked at a picture the wife and I did this morning of me when I was camp director at Camp Bud Shield, and our son Richard, who was on staff at Camp Bud Shield, and compared that to a picture of Richard now as an adult and his son at scout camp.
Aw, how cool is that? That's very nice. So if someone was going to open a business and they came, Richard, where would I be a good place to open my business? I assume you would say downtown Statesville. But why would you say that?
Well, once again, you're correct. I would say that because I think downtown Statesville is a pretty nice spot. It's been interesting being a downtown retailer for the last 20 or so years to have people come in from out of town who are getting off the interstate or they're here visiting relatives or whatever. And to a person, they always say what a great place downtown Statesville is, how nice it looks, how attractive it is, the nice shops. I don't think there's a better spot to be in a downtown location than downtown Statesville. I might be a little prejudiced, but one of the more rewarding things that I've done, this is, I guess, my third career, you could say.
Right.
I'm trying to get it right this time, is being part of downtown Statesville, being part of the community and being one of the retail businesses in downtown, and hearing all the compliments from people that visit from out of town who are just amazed at what Statesville's got to offer. A lot of people would say, well, I didn't realize there was a town here. I thought it was just the intersection of two interstate highways.
Right.
And they'd come in and walk around and say, man, you folks have an amazing downtown, which is true. I had a guy in yesterday from Colorado.
Really?
It's interesting the people that stop in and where they're from in various parts of the U.S.
I think it's a phenomenon, and I guess it goes on everywhere. But it's like local people have been the ones that go like, downtown, who can go downtown? That streetscape, da, da, da. But you talk to somebody from out of town, they're like, this is fabulous. I wish our downtown was like this.
Well, and that's very true. And the interesting thing is, which is why things like the street concerts and Pumpkin Fest and Art Crawl are so good, is it brings a lot of the locals to downtown that might not have come otherwise. Mm-hmm. And they're always impressed with what they find.
Yeah.
They don't realize that there's a place in town where you can get good sandwiches, a lot of good food, where you can get fly fishing stuff or a bottle of wine or craft beer. And they start walking around as part of these downtown events, and they learn how good downtown Statesville really is.
Right. So how many businesses are downtown these days? I mean that's what just blows my mind.
There's a lot.
Yeah. And then if you look on there and you say how many restaurants or, bars or something downtown, there's like 24.
When I think about when I first moved Wine Maestro downtown, which was 2012.
Yeah.
We've probably doubled restaurants and yeah.
You start counting them off and you're like, well, gosh, there is 20 or more places to eat or drink downtown.
Right.
It's crazy. And that's just part of the things we have to offer.
Yeah, Maren and I were talking about how much retail vacancy there is, and there's really not that much. It seems like, the vacancies, we notice them because they're just so obvious, but there's really not a lot of vacant spaces, and there are people that want those spaces, so they won't be vacant very long.
When we're meeting in the downtown development meetings, we talk about the rental spaces that's available and the unique ways that we try to market those spaces and the unique ideas that people have. There's one coming up on South Center Street. I had to get my north and south right. On South Center Street, that's going to be very interesting.
Right.
Yeah. And some other ones on Broad Street as well. So it's very cool. So when are you going to retire?
Never.
Well, funny you should ask that question because I actually retired from the Coast Guard in 1991, I think. And after 20 years of doing oil pollution and drug law enforcement and search and rescue, then I wound up getting into outdoor retail and working for the Boy Scouts. And then I started this in 98, and I guess I'm still kicking, and I'm going to hang on for a little while longer.
Good.
Some people say I've already retired, but I work ridiculously hard at this business.
Yes, you do.
He retires every Saturday about 2:00 and goes up to the mountains to fish.
Don't tell people that. They try to follow to my secret fishing spots.
Jim Dooley says, I remember all the Griggs very well. They were member of Trinity Episcopal Church. I, too, was in scouting and enjoyed every minute at Philmont and Camp Shield. Thank you for your service.
Who'd you say that was?
Jim Dooley.
Jim
up
Dooley.
in Virginia now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure. I remember.
His
Those
brother's Bob.
were good friends of my parents when I was growing up.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Statesville. I know that seems like, and here I am back again.
Hometown boy.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm a little bit ahead of the Dooley boys.
Are you?
But yeah, I grew up most of the life here in Statesville, and then after college, then I went into the military and was gone for 20 years.
Wow.
But fate brought me back here.
It's amazing, isn't it?
I was in Missouri interviewing for a job, and the woman said, "Do you know anything about North Carolina?" And I said, "Well, as a matter of fact, I do." And she said, "Well, why?" And I explained, and I said, "I grew up in Statesville." And she said, "Well, you know, if you got this job, we'd want you to live in Statesville." So here I am.
How about that? Now, you see, that's fate. See, if you were Presbyterian like me, you'd know that that was meant to be.
There you go.
It just wasn't luck, you know. But no, you're Episcopalian, so.
So let's talk more about what you have in the store, because I know the kayaks and the you have
Fly fishing rods.
clothes and all kinds of fishing stuff, but you have
yeah.
more stuff than that.
Yeah, well, fly fishing, a lot of people come in and they're a little bit disappointed that we don't carry bait casting and spin fishing gear. It's strictly fly fishing, which is kind of a niche among the sporting goods stores around in the area. But we also carry some outdoor clothes. We carry backpacks for overnight, multi-day backpacking trips and day packs or book bags. Kayaks have been a big seller the last couple of years, and it's been difficult to keep them in stock because of the interest in kayaking.
Thank you, COVID.
Yes. But at the moment, kayaks are again in good supply. We've got more coming in this weekend. Fly fishing stuff has come in, so we're able to outfit people whether they want to go to the mountains of North Carolina or Colorado. We've got a couple going to Colorado this weekend, or whether they want to go to the coast and fly fish for saltwater species. And we do other things like the scout uniforms and pocket knives, and we actually sharpen knives for people. A lot of folks are surprised to learn that.
And then you offer classes.
We offer classes. Obviously, we had to suspend some of those because of COVID. Mickey Revis, who a lot of people know locally, is a longtime veteran fly tyer, and he taught the fly tying classes and has taught them for years, and he's taught them in the store ever since we opened in '98. And then I do the fly fishing classes and fly casting classes, which attracts a lot of attention because we do those in the downtown Statesville fly casting arena, which some people know is the vacant lot next to Broad Street Methodist. In fact, I was down there this morning checking out some gear, and a guy came up and started asking me about fly fishing stuff. So
He didn't ask you like, there's nothing in that lake.
well, we always have to come up with witty responses
Yes,
to people say,
yes.
"What are you catching? Are they biting yet?" And
I got a question. I always wondered how you tie that onto the fly's leg.
very delicately and very carefully. And
See, he's got to come back for it. He's heard it all.
That's right.
And as you
Yes.
get older and that fly is moving around, you usually have to use a magnifying glasses to be able to see those little legs.
Oh, okay. I thought you could use like some smoke and just make it be still.
Oh, you wouldn't want to hurt it. You want it to be active in the water to attract the fish.
Then you want the fish to eat it. So that's another thing.
All right, perfect.
That's the end of that bug's life. But that's a good point because a lot of people are very confused about fly fishing. They don't understand it.
That's when, because on TV, they show, I asked him this one time. I was like, why do they do that? Because you see on TV, they go, whip it out and back and whip it out and back and then let it go and all that. And he said, they don't do that. A real fly fisherman doesn't do that.
Oh, really?
Probably not on most of our mountain streams because you got to have room to wave that fly line around in the air. A lot of people have seen a river runs through it. And
Yeah.
they've seen the casting there. And sometimes you do that, but in a lot of our mountain streams, you do other little things like lob cast and roll cast and bow and arrow cast. Now, if you're someplace out in the open like Lake Norman or the ocean,
Right.
then you can start to show off and look Hollywood. But yeah,
There you go.
that's always an interesting education for folks getting into fly fishing is you're not always waving it around in the air like you see in the movies.
I always liked that. That was pretty good. I was crushed when he said, you don't do that.
Oh.
We can tell whether you're an amateur or not by the way you cast your fly.
I would go fly fishing if I could go with Brad Pitt.
Okay, well, there you go.
That's a good. brings
He's
up
as
another
close
good
as you
point.
can get.
Yes.
I've got the tan.
Well,
He's
and,
catching up with the wrinkles and the gray hair, I think.
That's all right.
yeah, there you go. Sandra says, "Hi, Richard." Sandra
My
Blevins.
lovely wife.
Yes, I like her.
Oh, yes, very good. It's good to hear from her.
Yeah, I like her profile
It's
picture.
been a
It's
long time.
her
Yes,
and
it
Billy
has.
and a bunch of hearts.
Oh,
Yes.
wasn't that nice?
Sweet.
She wants something.
Wait, were the
You
hearts
always
for,
say that.
Were the hearts for me?
Yes, that's exactly
Yeah,
right.
there you go.
I hope my wife's not listening to the show this
You know
morning.
how it goes. That's right. Well, you're so popular.
Another thing I noticed though this morning when I was looking at your website is you have some nice tips on there for people if they're for fishing or backpacking or choosing a backpack.
Yeah, interestingly enough, the store opened originally as a backpacking store, backpacking and outdoor gear with a little bit of fly fishing. And over the years, as other chain stores moved to the area and everybody's selling backpacking and hiking gear, internet, you can buy all types of stuff on the internet, which maybe you shouldn't buy because it might not fit right. But we started out as a backpacking store, and part of that involved putting some tips on the store website, which is CarolinaMountainSports.com, for people who wanted to get started in backpacking and hiking, particularly in adverse weather conditions, or who wanted to get started in fly fishing. So that's been a good source of information for folks. And then the Facebook page has really brought a lot of attention to the store because we post results of fishing trips and outings and tips on the Facebook page as well.
I was just looking through. I just popped up on here. So what is this? You say camping gear. So you got like the cups and the knives and the hideaway forks and spoons and stuff?
We do. I stock a little bit of that, not like we used to, simply because there's so many other places now where folks can get those items. But we keep a few mess kits in stock and things like cups and sporks for backpackers, small stoves for backpackers, and some other camping accessories like flint and steel and things that people are looking for.
Do you rent? You have, it's tips for renting a canoe. Okay, I got you.
I always come in there at Christmas and try to find the cool little gadgets for my boys.
Yep. Yeah, Christmas is oftentimes the time when we bring in extra things that appeal to folks for stocking stuffers or add-ons for fly fishermen or for backpackers, little gifts and gadgets that round out things at Christmas time.
I was just looking through here. Where do you go to? What streams are in North Carolina? Where do you go? Fly fishing.
Oh, here come the secrets.
Now, I know you're not going to give away your secret spot, but
Well, there are tons and tons of streams. There's over 4,000 miles of trout streams in western North Carolina. So a lot of people don't realize that. They think in terms of fly fishing of out west or some of these exotic locations. But North Carolina is blessed with thousands of miles of trout streams in our Appalachian Mountains. And then, of course, as you move to the Piedmont, you've got all the lakes on the Catawba River chain that are good for stripers and largemouth bass and crappie.
you can catch those with fly fish?
You can catch anything on a fly rod.
Okay.
Now, here we go.
All right. I thought it was just trout.
Just trout. And that's what a lot of people think. But if it swims in the water and eats, you can catch it on a fly rod.
Hey.
And that includes big game fish like marlin and swordfish and even sharks. You just got to match the size and strength of the tackle to the fish that you're after and what sort of teeth they have.
So
But
is this
yeah,
true?
saltwater fly fishing's really taken off.
I know, that's it. But I thought, though, can you just walk up to a stream and start fishing? I mean, they're property owners. I assume you have to ask if I can.
Well,
how does that work?
Fishing is the easy part. The catching is a little more difficult.
Okay, very.
But yeah, in North Carolina, one of the issues, particularly with mountain trout streams, is private property.
Yeah.
Fortunately, a lot of these streams are available to the public. Some of them are in national forests and state parks, but a lot of them are on people's property that they've opened up to allow folks to fish. So I fish a stream a lot, not to be named, but it's up in Ashe County, and the trout section is about 7 miles long, and there's only a few parts of that stream that have been posted with no trespassing signs, and most of it is somebody's property, but anybody's allowed to fish it. So yeah, in many places, you can just walk up and start fishing. But if there's a yellow sign there that says no trespassing or purple paint, then you need to avoid that section of the water.
Purple paint. See, I didn't know that. Who would have known that purple paint
On a tree
meant that? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But
not like a
I
purple
thought it
ribbon.
just meant no hunting, but I guess it covers fishing as well. So that
Do
makes
you have
sense.
to have a license?
You have to have a license, absolutely. North Carolina's changed a little bit, but yeah, I think anybody over 16 has to have a fishing license. And now if you buy a fishing license, that includes what we call the trout stamp or trout privilege. And then if you're fishing in saltwater, you have to have a saltwater license, unless you're fishing from a pier or a charter boat or something like that. So the saltwater licenses are relatively new, but most states require that border saltwater.
Do you fish and eat or fish and release?
Mostly fish and release, because if I catch, the few times that I manage to catch something, if I keep it, then that means I have to clean it and I have to cook it. So
Wait, you don't bring it back to the wife? Here, honey.
There you go.
Look what I brought. I'm just saying. That's on TV. That's what they do.
that's right. That's right. No, as much
He
as,
likes staying married.
Well, that's what my grandfather did one time. My grandmother was ready to
One
go out to
time.
eat, and he brought home the fish. Here you go.
One time.
She had to stay and cook it. Anyway, is this true? Jim Dooley says you look and see what bugs are biting you on the neck, and then you tie one just like on your line and then fish with it. That's the trick.
Is that a tip?
to see what bugs are biting you on the neck. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Well,
So a mosquito would be tough. to tie
Jim
on.
is close to being correct here, but it's really maybe a little bit easier than that. One of the things that trout fishermen do is they do try to see what the insect life is flying around or stuck in spider webs on the bushes along the stream, or see what might be drifting on the surface of the water. But a lot of times you don't even need to worry about that, because most of the fly fishermen will tell you presentation of the fly or lure is more important than matching the bugs on the stream. So oftentimes it's picking a pretty good fly and then presenting it properly without spooking the fish. I haven't
See all this stuff?
I haven't inspected anything that's bitten me lately, but
I'd like to present it. It sounds like going to 220. Presented the fly to the hungry fish.
That's right.
That looks delicious.
Like a fine bottle of wine.
That's right.
that's one of the things that scares people away from fly fishing, is they think that it's technical and difficult, and that you have to know the genus and species of flies and insects and bugs and salamanders and minnows, but it's really much easier than that. And that's the thing that surprises people, is it doesn't have to be technical and difficult unless you want it to be.
I see.
There you go.
So
Well-
a purple worm, we used to use purple worms all the time, but I don't think they float. They might. I'm not
I
sure.
don't know. Maybe depends on how buoyant it is. Hey, so are you? You have a special nickname, a special name, a secret name. You don't have to tell us. Lou Lackey Lee. I like saying that fast 3 times. Lou Lackey Lee.
Triple
Says,
L? Oh.
There you
Yes,
go.
that's
Triple
it.
L. Richard is a great guy and longtime friend. His old school friends call them by our special name, our secret. So there you go. Cat's out of the
You
bag.
have a special name.
I don't know that it's a special name. I think most everybody knows Richard as a nickname. A lot of people call Richard, that's their surname. They have a nickname, but
Yes.
I didn't know it was a secret name. Most everybody that went to high school, still calls me.
Yeah.
So,
I got you.
There's all sorts of names. That can
Yeah.
and some people that know me quite well call me other names. So.
I'm sure they do. That's it. Well, we probably went further than anticipated, but I enjoyed very much speaking
All
with you.
right. So if you want to find Mr. Griggs and learn more about fly fishing, you can find him at 123 West Broad Street in beautiful downtown Statesville. And he's at CarolinaMountainSports.com. You can find him on Facebook. And you're
Twitter.
open. What are your Twitter?
TikTok.
I'm pretty sure Snapchat. Do you have Snapchat?
Instagram.
Yeah.
If we get beyond Facebook, I'm lost. I did good to get there.
I remember
thanks to
when
Cindy
you.
Sutton.
I know. I remember when you got your Facebook.
But we're open Tuesday through Friday from 11 a.m. till 6 p.m. and Saturday mornings from 9 until noon. And then the rest of the time, we're trying to go canoeing, kayaking, or fly fishing.
Our jam, do you do part of that downtown jam session that occasionally those guys get together to play music? Used to. I don't know if they do or not anymore.
You have to be talented to play music.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
But we're always happy to answer questions and happy to have folks stop in and ask questions.
Yeah. It's always good. Thank you, Richard.
And for anything else, Downtown Statesville, you can go to downtownstatesville.com or give us a call at 704-878-3436, and I'd love to talk to you.
Thanks, Liz.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much. Y'all have a great day. It's 10:34.
If you're looking for powerful, durable lawnmowers, outdoor power equipment, and more, then you need to visit RC's Lawnmower Sales